If you want to build a magnetic brand, the type of brand that allows you to quickly build influence and authority in whatever space you are in, then this video is for you. Today, we're going to unpack how this type of brand is the type of brand that people just can't resist. It's the type of brand that is going to draw exactly the right people to you and to your business. So if you are here with me on the live Zoom call strategy session and you want to learn how to build an irresistibly magnetic brand, then just type magnetism for me in the chat. Let's learn about some magnetism. So a lot of people think that in order to establish authority or become influential, then they need years of experience, or they need like millions of cases of proven results, or they need 100 million followers on social media before anyone is even going to take them seriously. Like, just wave at me or raise your hand if you've ever thought that. You got to hit 1 million subscribers, or you've got to have like 100,000 satisfied clients or customers, or sold a bazillion products before anybody's going to take you seriously in this space. And oftentimes we will see other very well-known influencers, and we see that they have established influence, they have established authority. So we just automatically think, oh, because they are successful, they must have years of experience underneath their belt. But the thing is establishing influence, establishing authority, it's not just actually about the time served or your extensive track record. It's not just about how many years you've been in the game or how many results you can directly point back to, or 1 million client happy customer testimonials. It's not about your followers on social media or your portfolio of work accomplished. Building an influence and authority, regardless of the space you're in, whether you're a TikTok influencer or you're a dentist. If you want to establish influence and authority in your market, in your space, it's actually much more dependent upon psychology and brand building strategy than really anything else. So the truth is, people don't follow the most experienced person in the room or on their devices they're scrolling, right? The most experienced person in the social media platform. People follow people that they like the most, that they are interested in the most. They follow people that they trust the most. They follow the person that they feel like they can easily connect with, right? This is called the know, like, and trust factor, okay? So I call it the KLT. This is the know, like, and trust factor. This is your brand building trifecta. All successful brands and businesses, just unmirror my camera here. There we go. All successful brands and businesses and influencers, they follow on these 3 factors. So just go ahead and you now think about all of the influencers that you follow or that you take advice from. Okay? Think about the social media accounts that you're scrolling through on your free time. Think about the brands that you buy products from, whether it's online or you're shopping in the store, right? Think about the companies and the professionals that you are hiring them for their services. Sometimes you might initially do business with somebody because of their level of experience and expertise. Like, if you need brain surgery, you don't really care if you like your brain surgeon, right? But if you think about the majority of people that you do business with, maybe initially, you hire somebody because you're like, oh, they've got 100 years of experience, right? They must know what they're doing. But if eventually it comes to the fact that you end up not liking them, or you feel like you can't trust them, or you just flat out don't understand them, they just like you just don't get it, right? You will not buy from them or follow them for long. So I teach my students this method called the magnetic brand method. The magnetic brand method. And this is a brand that leverages psychology and strategy to draw the perfect people to you. All right, can we see that? Yes? Good, awesome. Now, not everyone is going to be your audience. Not everyone is going to be your customer or your client. The reason why this is called the magnetic brand is because it attracts exactly the right people to you, but it also repels the wrong people away from you. Because like I said, not everyone is your customer, not everyone is your audience, okay? So we think we don't want to repel people, but in this case, repelling people is actually a good thing. So before we go any further, let's talk about this word brand though. There's going to be some people out there in internet land scratching their heads asking like, what exactly even is a brand? What exactly does it even mean to build a brand, right? So let's dive deep into what those two things even mean. What even is a brand and how do you build one? Okay, so a brand is made up of two parts. So what is a brand? The two components of a brand would be the physical part of the brand. So you've got the physical. This is what you can see or what you could actually experience, what you could touch, right? So you've got the physical, we also call that the external. And you've got the intangible, internal part of a brand. So a brand is made up of two parts, the physical part and the intangible part. So what I mean by the physical part is brands are nouns. Brands are nouns. What are nouns? People. Put in the chat for me. What are the examples of the nouns? Let's go back to the second grade. The physical part of a brand is a noun. People, places, things. You got it. Well-known people, popular vacation destinations, and then obviously things that we buy, right? The things, okay? Companies. These would be the physical parts of the brand. Come back here, camera. There we go. So the internal, the intangible part of a brand, this is made up of everything that people think or feel or believe when they are thinking about or describing the brand. Okay? So this is what do you think about or feel when you are experiencing a brand. So if we just, or believe, right? These things might not actually be legitimate, but believe. Think about feel and believe. So think about now some really well-known brands. Think of some really well-known people, places, or things. Like the first things that came, like the first nouns that popped up into my head when I was doing this exercise is I thought of Oprah. I thought of Cancun. And I thought of Apple. As in the company, not the food. So these would be the physical components of a brand. Oprah is a brand. Cancun has a brand. Apple obviously is a well-known brand. This is the physical part of the brand, what you can actually see, what you can actually experience, right? Now think of, what are some of the things that you might say if I asked you to describe these three brands? Think about Oprah, think about Cancun, think about Apple. If you were to ask people across the country, like, to describe Oprah, to describe Cancun, to describe the company Apple, the words that people would come up with would be very, very similar. That's because these are examples of strong brands. We call this consistent feedback. People would be providing consistent feedback. That's the intangible, what they think, what they feel, what they believe about these brands over here. These are very, very strong brands because if you were to ask people all across the country, all across the world, you would get consistent feedback regarding these brands. Now, it doesn't mean that everyone likes them. No, not at all. It just means that the image and the messaging that they are projecting is clear and consistent. So that's what a brand is. If you've been wondering, like, what exactly is a brand? I mean, I know it's like Nike, right? But like, what is a brand? Like, what is the intellectual version of a brand? That's what a brand is. It's just the physical noun, the physical person, place, or thing, plus all of the emotions and feelings and beliefs that people have when they think about them or when they describe them, right? Now, building a brand. So this is what a brand is. What is building a brand? Building a brand is a strategic process, which is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about building a magnetic brand, a strategic process. And it's just the strategy that the brand uses to connect it all together. Building a brand connects the actual physical thing to the internal, the intangible. Okay. So step one would be, first the brand decides who is their target audience. Then the second thing that the brand would do is they would define what are all of the emotions and the thoughts and the beliefs and the ideas that they want their target audience to have when they experience them. And then the last thing that they do is they then create an image surrounding all of those things. They create a persona, they create an image, and then all of the messaging that they put out there is all based on those first two criteria. So if this is what a brand is, building a brand, like I said, has 3 steps. So if you are now building a brand, you need a strategy. The strategy is a simple 3-step process of number 1. Are you writing this down? Okay. Number 1 is they identify their target audience. We'll define what this is in just a moment if you're not quite sure what that term is. They define who is their target audience. Then they define, so this is also the physical too, right? This is the physical part of it, is who. Who do I want to attract? Who do I want to sell to? Who do I want to do business with? Who do I want to, click on all of my videos so that I go viral, right? Who is my target audience? Then they go to the internal intangible. What are the things that what are the ideas, the emotions, right? The beliefs that they want their target audience to have. So we're just going to say emotions, feelings, beliefs that they want, that they being the brand wants their target audience to experience these things internally when they experience their brand. And then the last thing is the last final thing that they do is they build their brand. The strategy is you build your brand around these two things. The last thing that they do is they create their persona, their image, and all of their messaging to target the first two things. So it's like they've reverse engineered it, right? Because a lot of new entrepreneurs make this big mistake of thinking that their brand is about them. And it's not just new entrepreneurs, it's just entrepreneurs in general. A lot of people building a business think that their business is for them. So they try to sell a product or create a service that they like, and then they figure out that the market doesn't like it, right? But when you are building a business, you have to create a product or service that the market actually wants to pay for, right? Otherwise, you don't have a business. And so when you're building a brand for the purpose of a business, when you are building a brand to build your business, then the brand isn't about you, it's about your audience. So you have to reverse engineer. So that's your brand building strategy. A strong magnetic brand understands this. A magnetic brand, like I said, it attracts the right people to you. And those people, that is your target audience. So like I said, we would define what target audience is. It's your ideal customers, your ideal clients, your ideal followers. It's the people who you know will receive the most value from whatever it is you got that you're putting out there. Whatever it is that you are serving to your target audience, whether it's a product or a service, or maybe it's just content that you're creating. A magnetic brand attracts your ideal target audience because it focuses on this trifecta. It focuses on the know, like, and trust factor. I want my target audience to come to know me, and then like me, and then trust me. And then they will follow me, and then they will do business with me. And if I get really good at it, then they'll be super duper loyal, super fans, sharing your stuff all over the place, giving you referrals. So how do we come to this trifecta? How do we build the know, like, and trust factor? One simple word: clarity. You build your know, like, and trust factor with your target audience through brand clarity, because clarity creates trust and connection. Confusion, which would be the opposite of clarity, confusion creates distrust and disconnection, right? When a brand has a really clear message, a really clear image, a very clear persona, this allows people to quickly recognize who they are, what they offer, what they're all about. And this clarity, it attracts the right people, but it repels the wrong people. So, like I said, in this case, repelling the wrong people is a good thing because, like I said, not everyone is your audience. Not everyone is your customer, right? So, when you have a really clear brand message and it repels the wrong people, but it attracts the right people, well, then what that is telling you is that you have a really clear brand message. That's your confirmation, right? It means that you put your image and you put your messaging out there, and the whole audience that received you, like everybody, they heard it loud and clear. It's just that some decided you were for them and others decided you were not for them. And that is completely fine. Some decided you were attractive, some decided you were unattractive. And if you remember that not everybody is your customer, not everybody is your ideal audience, we don't worry about the people who are not attracted to us, because all that means is they're not our people, right? That's all that means. They're just not our people. A magnetic brand is clear and consistent, and it's very intentional. There's no haphazard stuff. There's a lot of thought going into this. Like I said, your brand strategy, you've got to reverse engineer it, right? That takes thought, that takes depth, that takes research, right? Everything that you present to the public, it has a specific look and sound and theme and voice. And everything that you present, that look, that sound, that voice, it's all based on what you want your audience to think and feel. So, how does a brand know what they should make their audience think and feel? Well, it takes time, like I said, and the brand builders, they will do their research. And what they will figure out is they will figure out, what does my target audience want? What do they want to think? What do they want to feel? What do they want to experience? What are the emotions that they want, right? Like if you go and you watch a romantic movie, unless your wife dragged you into that theater, you wanted to experience those emotions. You wanted to feel those tingly feelings that romantic movies give you, right? So what the brand will do is they figure out, what does my audience even want to feel? What do they want to experience? And then they just go and they give their audience those experiences. It's very simple. It's not overcomplicated. A lot of people overcomplicate this stuff, but it's just very simple. It takes research and diligence and intention, but the psychology of the person is actually not that complicated. So a magnetic brand is a brand that, like I said, has taken the time to do this research. They've taken the time to understand their audience, to get to know their problems and their wants and their needs. They understand what their audience wants. What are their likes? What are your audience's preferences? What are their desires? They even understand their brand at like a social and cultural level. What are their values? What is my audience's worldview? What are their behaviors? What are their habits? Magnetic brands will also determine their audience's fears and what they don't like. They will even figure out what makes my audience skeptical or hesitant, what makes them nervous. These are objections that your audience might have about doing business with you. If a brand can know what your audience is skeptical of or fearful of or doesn't like, you can then provide them the opposite of those things so that you can overcome those objections, right? And then a magnetic brand uses all of this to then align themselves with that target audience. So once the brand does this research and identifies who their target audience is, they then begin to build that image and that persona and that messaging that will resonate with and stick with and compel their target audience to want to go deeper, to want to know more, to want to do business. And again, like I said, they reverse engineer this even down to the products and the services they create. You're creating products and solutions that your target audience actually wants to pay for, right? Or if you're a content creator, you're creating content that your audience actually wants to engage with and experience and go back with for more. It's not about what you want. You are solving their problems, meeting their needs, like entertaining them, right? You're just giving your audience, you're figuring out what does your audience want, and then you are just giving it to them, right? So maybe your content is something that entertains, or maybe your content is something that answers a question, or it simply just feeds their ego and their suspicions and it gives them what they want to hear, like all of the news that people are watching, right? I don't think it's really the news. I think it's just a bunch of stuff that people want to hear. All right, we won't get into that. Okay. And did you know that building a brand and brand strategy can actually be biblical? Because in 1 Corinthians 9:22, Paul says, I have become all things to all people so that by all possible means I might save some. What does that mean? It does not mean that Paul was being inauthentic or manipulative. It just means that Paul was being intentional. He was studying his audience. He was called to serve and to reach a people, and he was studying them and figuring out, like, how do I speak to them culturally? How do I speak to them socially? What are the problems that, this specific group of people are struggling with? I'll speak to those, to solutions to those problems, or what are their issues, etc. Like, Paul understood their culture, their worldview, their values, their fears, and he shaped how he communicated with each of the churches that he built in each of the areas, or whatever group of people that he was talking with. He shaped how he communicated with them in a way that resonated with that specific group of people, his audience, right? So, to be clear, when you are building a brand, the idea is not to be fake, okay? Being fake is, in itself, it's inauthentic, it's unethical, but honestly, it's just unsustainable. Like, if you are being fake, you can't keep up with it. Like, you just can't keep up with it. It gets tiresome. You, after a while, like, you don't even like yourself, and eventually you're going to wear yourself out and you're going to quit. So there is no fake it till you make it. It is just being your authentic self, but you and your authentic self, you have an authentic audience. You have an authentic pool of clients or customers, or viewers or followers, right? So building your brand, it is a balance. It is a balance between being genuinely yourself, but also intentionally focused on the people that you are seeking to serve, and then providing them with whatever it is that they want or whatever it is that they need. And so when you follow this method, the magnetic brand method, you just can't help but build a brand and increase your authority and increase your influence at a rapid rate, because you are tapping into authentically getting your target audience to know you, like you, and trusting you. So after I left my teaching career, I felt a void where my career had been, like a void in my creative, productive output. I really enjoyed being able to stay home with my sweet family. It was awesome. I loved being present, but man, I needed to just create something of value and put it out there in the world. Just wave at me or type "that's me" in the chat. Any stay at home parents connecting with that, right? You love being present for your family, but gosh darn it, you just got to put some stuff of value outside of the home, out into the world. And so I was feeling this way. I was searching for something anyway. I was praying about it. And then a friend of mine actually came to me with this, like, really great idea. And she offered for me to join her network marketing team. Anybody ever done that? Right? No, we're not dogging on network marketing teams. No, we're not doing that. It can be good. It can be good for some people. I wasn't ever able to scale it, hence why I'm still not doing it. But that's another story, right? It just wasn't for me. So she offered me to join her network marketing team, and to clarify what that is, it just means that you now sell products and services for another company, and then sometimes you try to get people to join your team underneath you, right? It's not a pyramid scheme. There are pyramid schemes. This one wasn't one. It was legit. Another word for it is affiliate marketing, right? Some people call it affiliate marketing. So anyway, I was searching for something to fill the void and generate income. And so I joined the team, right? And then the next thing you know, I went from being a stay-at-home mom to a fitness guru overnight. That's right. Not really. I'm joking. It was a company that sold fitness supplements and workout programs. And when I joined, I let the person that I joined under, I let them know, like, hey, to be clear, I am not at all an expert in exercise physiology or the science behind nutrition. I do exercise and take supplements, but I am certainly not an expert in the field. And the company told me that I actually didn't have to start out as an expert to be successful in this business and to sell the products and to build a team. They told me that in order to be successful in this marketing business, all you need are just two things. You just need to do these two things. Number one, build a brand that makes people feel like they know you and can trust you. And then number two, figure out what people want and then just give it to them. That's it. That's the two-step strategy. All right, so spoiler alert, I don't sell fitness products for this company anymore. So you're going to have to go get your protein powder from somebody else. And like I said, there are a lot of people who will get into this type of business model and they can just blow it up. But that was not me because it wasn't for me. But even though network marketing wasn't the right vehicle for me to like take it up the mountain and reach the summit with it, it was absolutely the right place at the right time. It was the right thing for me to be doing temporarily in that season. So hindsight, right? Everybody say hindsight. Type hindsight in the chat. Hindsight, I am able to see that even though I wasn't able to scale myself in that network marketing company, God had directed me to this company and to this role for a reason, for a season. And at the time, I felt foolish, like I was wasting my time on something that never really got off the ground, never really made any money at it. But looking back, like I said, hindsight. But looking back, I realized that it was exactly where I needed to be in that time and in that season because I had been a teacher, right? I had been a teacher and I was staying home and I really wanted to build some sort of business from home. But I realized later, like all of my education and training was focused on being a teacher. All of my education was toward education, right? And I was trying to build a business, but I didn't have any education or training on business building or marketing or anything like that. And this network marketing company that I joined, they wanted the people who were joining them, they wanted the people to be able to successfully sell these products and successfully build out the team, right? Like the more successful their affiliates were, the more successful the company was. So they provided really great training to me for free, really great training on marketing and brand building and all sorts of sauce that I am now applying in these later years, right? So this is training that I went through that I thought was super duper highly interesting. And even though I was applying it in this field, I was just sort of like nosediving. But God knew that it would be incredibly beneficial for me down the road because what I didn't know at the time when I joined this fitness company is I didn't realize that a few years later, my husband and I would make the big, bold move into real estate investing. And then that's where we would build our business in, would be in the lane of real estate investing. And this is one of those arenas, real estate investing is one of those arenas where the know, like, and trust factor is really, really valuable because sometimes it's just not there. I'm not going to call anybody out, right? But sometimes in the real estate investing space, feeling like you can really trust somebody or find likable people, it can be difficult at times. So for those of you who are in the real estate investing space, if you can build a brand where you can genuinely get people to know, like, and trust you, and you are authentically trustworthy, right? Then you can get pretty far. So at first, I didn't know how we were going to do this. Like, how are we going to build this brand? How are we going to build authority and influence in this space? We're just getting started. We're not experts. Nobody in the space knew who we were. But then I remembered back to my training with the network marketing company that all you have to do is just build a brand that makes people feel like they know you and can trust you, figure out what it is that people want, and then just give it to them. And that really is the secret sauce. behind magnetism in any area of your life, right? Like not just in business. You can apply this to social media. You can apply this to relationships. You can apply this to ministry. Figure out what people want and then just give it to them. Become the type of person that people can genuinely, authentically come to know and connect with. They can like you. They want to do business with you. They want to hear more from you. Maybe you are in ministry. How are you going to disciple people if they don't like you or trust you? Right? So if you follow this magnetic brand method, you can accelerate your influence and your authority at an incredible rate, regardless of your level of expertise or time spent in the field. So if you are building a business and you want to be influential and you just want to walk in the authority that you know is deep down in you, but you just don't know how to like unlock and unleash it, right? So if you're building a business, you want to be influential, you want to walk with authority, but you are just an unconfident newbie, then just remember, it's not about you anyway. So you can take the focus and the pressure off of yourself anyway. It's about the people that God has called you to serve with whatever it is that God has given you to serve them, whether it's a product or a service or content or the gospel, right? Just understand that none of this is about you anyway. So take the pressure off of you and put it toward getting to know your audience, researching your audience, and just reverse engineering, like, who even are these people? What is it that they even want? And then how can I make myself and everything that I say and do reflect and connect with what it is that these people want or what they need, right? So your homework is go study your target audience, figure out their problems, their desires, and their needs. Go get to know them at a deeper level and then reverse engineer a brand that genuinely connects with them while also staying genuinely connected with who you are as well. So if you join me on the live call Zoom strategy session, I just want to say thank you for joining me today. And if you want to join me in the future, the link to the live call will be in the description section. All you got to do is click the link and then we will send the Zoom invitation directly to your inbox. So if you're watching this teaching on YouTube, awesome. You get the teaching. I know the teaching is so great, right? But if you join me on the live Zoom call, then you get the strategy session. This isn't a one-on-one strategy session. This is for anybody who hops on the Zoom call. I'll answer your questions. I'll give you feedback. We'll problem solve. Sometimes other people on the call have really great input and feedback. Sometimes it's not even me, like giving the answers or figuring out the problems, right? It's just a really great place to be. And so if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to join me live, we do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So click the link in the description below, and I will see you in the next Zoom strategy session. Guys, take care and have a great day.